Okay, good afternoon, sirs. My name is Ebele Ogboe. I'm the head of Project Finance UBA, sir. Pleasure to meet you, sir.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Owen Omogiafo, President Group CEO, Transcorp.
Good evening. My name is Osa Igehon. I'm the CEO of Heirs Energies.
Thank you very much. So, I know that many of us, we know each other. We've been working on this transaction for a while. It took quite a bit to get to this point. But I just want to use this opportunity to say a big thank you to, before we go into the signing itself, a big thank you to the wonderful team we have on the Afrexim side. These guys they're exceptional, and that's the truth. I've worked with a lot of bankers the course of my career. But these guys are truly, truly exceptional. So we want to say a big thank you. And also a big thank you to the guys on the Heirs Energy side who have also burnt the midnight oil to make sure all of this happen. I will now pass the mic on to my good friend, Eric, for him to make some comments and some remarks. Eric.
Thank you, President and Chairman of the Board of Directors, Afrexim Bank, Chairman and my role model, Chairman Tony Elumelu, my boss, Senior Executive Vice President, Mr. Davis Denia, my boss again on my immediate right. Sorry that you found out a bit late. It happened very quickly on the signing, but the Senior Executive Vice President of Global Trade Banking in Afrexim Bank, my colleagues who have worked tirelessly on this transaction, the team and friends from Heirs Energy, UBA, and Transcorp, we want to thank you for the support, the strategic partnership that we build together. But President, I did very little work on this transaction. I just sat, drank tea, and things happened. And that was made possible by Alain Cherimbonge and Peter and Benoit. So, President, if you allow me, I will prefer that the team that work in the engine room make some remarks. My sister and colleague Obioma running around, all of these, those people that made this transaction happen. So, 80, if you could take the floor and then introduce the technical team so that we can go ahead. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Eric, and please permit me to stand on existing protocol. I think clearly the presence of our executive management here is a clear evidence of the support that the bank provides to indigenous energy champions. And just with your permission to reiterate the senior commitment to pursue this partnership. And having said that, let me allow Peter to expand on the technical aspects of the transaction. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, AT. I think I'll just take our minds back to this journey. When we started about 7 years ago, it was then Sam Namdi, the acquisition for OML 11 and OML 17 as a combined bid. We secured the credit approvals, very rigorous. But at that time, for some reasons, OML 11 was not approved by ministerial consent. Yes. Approved. And we then had to go back to the board. We had to restructure, reshape the entire transaction, and we then sized it for OML 17 alone. And President, we had to go to the board 3 times on this transaction, and tirelessly with anger, and we were able to deliver the financing. A few years down the line, the transaction has performed extremely satisfactory, and having paid down the loan significantly, the company was of the opinion that it was time to optimize the capital structure of the transaction, and then try to make it look forward-looking to fit their aspirations to be able to ramp up the asset and grow the production very quickly. And in this transaction, we're able to raise new champions like Obioma, who is also an export from UBA and has been very, very committed. So I think Benoit, I'll just allow Benoit then speak to. Yeah.
Thank you, Peter. I don't think there's much more to add. It has been said very eloquently. Our presence here today is the result of collaboration and teamwork. There is effort, strong management support, and we are happy to have this outcome that we can gather to celebrate. For us, this funding is meant to help the company do bigger things, have an optimal financing, like you said, have funding to be able to develop the production and contribute to everything that makes the country economically stronger. So we look forward to seeing those things happening on the ground, and of course we are at disposal to continue to support. Thank you.
President and the Chairman, Sam and I have been speaking that once Q1 2026 comes, we'll sit down and we'll work a strategy to see how we can scale. We come of age, we need to scale. That's what Sam and I have been planning. So we'll come to you with a full-blown plan with respect to how we have to scale so that we can do bigger things. We must make Africa great as it has always been in the days of Mansa Musa. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thanks to the team at Afrexim. So, President, Chairman, what Eric will not tell you, if drinking tea is what Eric does, then he should. This man calls me 1 a.m. in the morning, still alive, arguing on the transaction. Same thing with Benoit, Peter, Obioma, end guys. In fact, so I don't know if your team sleeps, but it seems they don't. So I want to use the opportunity, Chairman, if you would allow me, please, sir, to also invite my CEO, who has provided us a lot of guidance. I mean, without the work that they've been doing on the other side, we are the finance guys. We kind of play around with the money. But it's the work that they do that enable us to perform, to to do what we are able to do. So I'd just like to invite our CEO, Osaigen, to. He's also a doctor, by the way, to also make some comments.
Yes, thank you very much. There's a growing conversation that there's 3 types of doctorates. There's the one you read in school, there's the one you get honorary, and there's one that's just emerged in the past few weeks that is in practice. So, you're on the ground, yeah. So maybe I'm one of those. So all protocols as Mr. Chairman and President of Afrexim, Chairman Heirs Holding, and my colleagues. It's a very epochal moment when you think back at this asset, OML 17, that was financed by Afrexim, and the performance that it has delivered. I was very happy when there was the report that this asset has performed excellently well. But let me just emphasize a few key things. So this is a 67-year-old asset. It started production the same year Nigeria started production in 1958. It was one of the assets that delivered that. But today, we are running that asset at levels not seen before, at incredible performance levels. We have doubled oil production. We have doubled gas production from the onset, despite several challenges that faced us along the way. Thank you. So we started out with about 25,000 barrels of oil per day, and today we're producing over 50,000 barrels of oil per day. We started out with about 50 million scopes of gas per day. Today we are producing over 120 million scopes of gas per day. Our recent innovation in gas that increased our production a few months ago actually led to more than tripling of the power generation from the eastern part of Nigeria. So it's a very impressive outcome. So the small seed that was planted 7 years ago with the help of Afrexim is grown significantly.
You gave us the first letter.
Yes. I'm also happy to tell you that we are one of the 3 lowest cost operators in Nigeria. We have had the highest oil production growth in Nigeria in the 5 years period of 2020 to 2024.
And to be honest, we have completely de-risked onshore Nigeria. All the stories of theft, community issues, age facilities and all that, we've confronted and challenged and overcome all of those issues. We have built a champion in OMS 17. So thank you very much for laying the foundation for this champion. And as champions do, they don't rest on their oars. They look for the next frontiers to conquer. And who better to take the next leap with, other than backed by yourselves? I think the most impactful development bank maybe in the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So, okay. So, I will now turn to our chairman, Mr. Tony Elumelu, CFR, to make some comments.
I think my comment is just words of gratitude to Afrexim. I want to start by congratulating President and Chairman of Afrexim, my own brother, the Red Doctor, the best category doctor, and his capable executive. Dennis, thank you so much. Hassan, Eric, all of you, thanks for everything. Our story. So I was in banking. I left banking in 2010, and I thought oil and gas was very important, and we decided to venture into oil and gas sector. But that story can never be told without referencing Afrexim's catalytic role in helping us. So when we started negotiating with Shell, they wanted proof of cash. And we ran to Afrexim, and Afrexim gave us, I recall, $600 million letter of commitment. With that, we were able to close the negotiation with Shell. Shell went on to approve for us to acquire 11, 17, and the Eastern Pipeline, and then the power plant at Afam. Altogether, about $2.3 billion. We went around the world and raised $2.5 billion. Afrexim caught $600 million out of that. And because of that demonstration of confidence by Afrexim, it was not too difficult to raise the rest. But unfortunately, and as I say always, and I said it during the Afrexim event annual meeting a few months back, when you are in private sector on the continent, in Africa, you deal with the challenges of the environment, you deal with the at-times challenges of your government. Yes. Our government, led by President Buhari, refused to approve it. And the reason was that it was too big an asset to be in the hands of the private sector. Forgetting that Shell was an international private sector, Shell had held this. And so we went for over 1.5 years. We're paying bank charges because we're raising money. We pay legal fees. To survive in business in this continent is tough. So legal charges almost 50 because the transaction was not an easy transaction. We had to unwind the transaction, lost so much money, unwind the transaction, and started again. They said choose only one. So they took away the pipeline, they took away the power plant, and they took away 11. And so we were with 17. Again, we ran to Afrexim, and Afrexim was there to support us with AFC. And I'll talk about this too. And that's how we started this journey. But we thank the people on my right-hand side, Osa, Sam, and Co. And what I told them was just simple. Let us show that out of Africa, out of Nigeria, we can grow world-class businesses. We can grow an integrated energy company. And they took up this, in fact, made sacrifices within their compensation and took up this role, relocated, etc. And what we are doing today is a validation, a public recognition of what you guys have done. For Afrexim and others to come together and say, okay, we can restructure this, give you more room to do other things. So it comes back again to Afrexim
They started it, and they are now coming again to scale us to the next level. And Eric says, he and Sam are going to discuss it. That is scaling to third tier. This is a clear manifestation of African capital working for African businesses. You know, I have said that no one but us will develop our continent. The most impactful and catalytic finance institution in Africa is Afrexim, undoubtedly. They have grown the capacity, the capacity and the boldness to support African businesses. And that's why what I say to my fellow private sector leaders, when financial institutions support you, please, the least you owe them is to perform. If you perform, you demonstrate, you encourage them to do more for you and for others also. And that is very, very important. That is our mantra. In fact, even when we had significant oil theft, I teach it in our operation, we never defaulted on our repayment. We never. And now, in fact, it's a lot, it's a different world totally. So thank you, Dr. Yombe, for what you and your team are doing, not just for Heirs Group, but for all African private sector leaders. There can be, I can say, quotable, that there's no private sector business in Africa without Afrexim. You guys, thank you very much. And I look forward to us doing more with Afrexim. Want to sign team are very ambitious. They want to do a lot of things. And for us also, this demonstration of governance. I chair United Bank for Africa, but when we want to do transaction, we go to other institutions. On record, the financing of OMS 17, not a dollar came from UBA. Everything was syndicated by Standard Chartered and Afrexim, and we got it from all of the other institutions because we like to separate both. And that's why we come back to you again. There are more things we want to do, and we're going to work in with you. Thank you so much. And I'm sure this is his biggest first transaction. I'm sure this will be the biggest. I don't think there's any more than 2%. Okay, on Nigeria. Because this guy, they write big checks.
That's true. We've written a few very large ones.
Wow. More than $750 million. Jesus. Okay, next year.
Yeah, but that's the value of what you decided that you would give to this institution. It's an African institution. It's owned by the African public and private sector, essentially. We have a non-African group which represents only about maybe 6% right now. The rest is Africa. So where else should we go? We cannot go to Asia. We cannot go to Latin America. We do not have that luxury of other institutions in our field which have the mandate to operate anywhere in the world. We are condemned to be here in good times and bad times, when things are okay and under a coup d'etat, we still have to be in the system, as it were. So thank you for always being around. To us, your presence in our activities, when you show up yourself as Heirs, sometimes you describe as Heirs, sometimes as UBA, sometimes sometimes as Transcorp. In any of those caps that you come, and you come along with other large Nigerian businesses like yourselves, and from Zimbabwe across the continent, that's what gives us the strength. And the strength comes in that others begin to see Afrexim Bank as extremely important, extremely powerful,
a partner you can toss around, because African private and public sector would bulldog you away from trying to threaten Afrexim. And so we are very grateful that we are working with you. My colleagues, in their typical Afrexim Bank spirit, they broke the cake into little bits, and everybody is eating a bit of the cake as they spoke, yes, and spread it out. So there is not much else that I had to say. I only wanted to speak about what next. But even on what next, Eric took it away. We think we should get to higher strides. We're still working on the energy bank, so that we can move most of this energy portfolio there. That's where it should sit. And we would put tremendous capital in it and support it also to be as bold and innovative as Afrexim Bank itself has been, so that we can continue to support that sector. If we didn't support that sector, I think somewhere around 23 African countries would be in trouble. Gabon, Congo, Brazzaville, Nigeria, Angola, Mozambique, Algeria, Morocco, Equatorial Guinea, South Sudan, everywhere. Yes. And with Senegal, for which we're doing $1 billion soon in a few days. So it just comes on like that. So thank you again for all of this. I cannot say any more about the transaction, and they prepared a note for me, and then everything they put in the note has been said. So thank you for always being there. Please come to our events. We like to see you there, because that's where we get the real support. As to the business, let's leave it with Sam and Eric, and perhaps Osa, to make it work. Dennis, don't worry about Dennis. Everything that Eric is worried with, Dennis would sign. He will ask a few difficult questions in a committee meeting, and then he will say, okay, that's fine. Just make sure, and he will sign. So let's go ahead. So the next one, yes, that's what it is at the end. It is trust, and trust is the people you build with and the word. So when it comes to those difficult ones, then we say, okay, this man cannot lead us astray. He's going to stand with us. Even when the deal is going bad, he will be there with us. So, because some deals do go bad, objectively. So then we do it on that basis, and that's how we have pushed it. I hope, Osa, I hope that there is more on his way. Yes. I'm not on this line. Yes. It should bring more. Yes, we're ready for that. Beyond, even, I suppose Owen is also expanding in many ways. So don't think that it is Osa's preserve. It is Afrexim Bank is in all areas. So do bring them so that we can look at them. Not only here, bring them if you have them in Ghana, if you have them in the Gambia or in Cote d'Ivoire. I'm talking about the sub-region. If you have them further south, in Angola, in Congo, in Cameroon, bring, and we will still do that. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Chairman.
When you're empowered like this empowerment, real empowerment, when you're empowered like this, you can walk on waters. So Osa and team, go and conquer disease. This demonstration of Africa financing Africa's future and energy security. If you guys don't do what you're doing, as you said, a lot of countries will be in trouble, especially during that hot climate change conversation.
Yes.
It was serious. But thanks to our president, Afrexim have been so great. I believe you all, as Nigerians, also know what's happened. The medical facility here and the training. There's so many things Afrexim is doing. During COVID, Afrexim was there for all of Africa. So you guys, in fact, the remit of your development banking license is everyone should copy it. Everyone should copy it. Everyone should copy it. I know I've got into trouble before because I didn't comment. So, but I know that Afrexim means a lot to the private sector in Africa. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you very much, sirs. So it's interesting that the journey for this signing that we're about to do actually started in this same hotel when Dennis and I met, and I told Dennis that we were looking at stuff, and he said, how much? I said 750. He said, okay, Sam, go tonight, I'm around, give me your proposal. And I stayed, Nnamdi and I spent the night banging everything out together, and by morning we had it with Dennis. By the next day, the process has started. So thank you a lot, Dennis. I can't forget that. And now we are doing that same completion of that same transaction in the same hotel. So there's something about the hotel. This is where you do all your deals. So thanks a lot, Owen. So I will now pass on to my very good friend Enga, who will now take us through the process for the signing.
Thank you, Nnamdi. So it will be a very simple process. Sam, Sam and Nnamdi every day. So I speak to them interchangeably. My apologies, Sam. So it will be a simple process. It's a ceremonial signing. So I'll take the two folders with the signature blocks. The chairman of Heirs Energy will sign at the same time as the chairman and president of Afrexim Bank. Then they will exchange and they will do a handshake. So it will be a very simple process. Thank you.
Hold on, guys. Hold on. This is possible. Okay. Big smiles, eyes up for everyone. Yeah, she's doing great.
No, you gave me power. You remember? Thanks to Owen. Thanks to Owen.
So, please. Okay. Everyone, eyes open. Big round, everyone. And here. 3, 2, 1. Okay. So, because of this table, this same picture will be repeated. That's it. That's the protocol. My brother, I see you.
Welcome back from the live telecast. We'll now continue with our regular programs. Stay tuned.